Good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world.
Hi to everyone in the ENHAPP community, actually. This is the second or the third time I'm coming on. It's a privilege.
That's awesome. Great. So I'm just going to give a couple of minutes for our people to join, and then we can get started. Richa, you're speaking. We can't hear you. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Now it's better.
perfect.
Yeah, now I can hear you. So I was saying, let's
Can
give
you
a.
hear me,
Now it's
Mani?
perfect. Yeah, it's perfect now. I can hear you. I can see you. It's wonderful. All set. You can't hear me?
Sorry, Mani. I think there's something wrong. I can't hear you at all.
Okay, let me just quickly check the
Um,
settings.
do you want me to reconnect?
No, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Let me do that. I'll leave and reconnect with you.
Okay.
Perfect. Mani, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. How about
Super.
you? Can you hear me?
Absolutely. We are ready to go.
Excellent.
Yes. Sorry about that.
Great, fantastic. I mean, it's always good to have a niggle in the start rather than in between. So now that every technology piece has been set right, so I think it's time for us to get into the Monday Mythbusters. Right.
Absolutely.
We've been busting a lot of myths of late, and I think today is one of my favorite topics, and as well as a topic which is like very interesting for a lot of people out there as well. So before that, let me just welcome all the viewers, all the people, the ENHAPP community,
Yeah.
the wonderful people out there. Hello,
Yes.
and
Hi.
a very big hi to you from the ENHAPP team. I welcome you all for this show, and it's a pleasure to have with us today Richa Malik, who's one of the well-known experts on something which we all want a lot, but we seldom have a lot: sleep. You know, she's a sleep therapist, I guess, and she's been doing a lot of work in Ayurveda. I will let herself introduce herself in a moment. But before that, I think I want to just touch base on the wonderful topic which we have for discussion today. And it's talking about the circadian rhythms and sleep cycle. So I think it'll be, I'm very excited to hear a lot from Richa. And Richa, may I request you to please introduce yourself and then take us through the wonderful topic what we are going to talk about today.
Mani, now, okay, let me start with introducing myself. I'm part of a three-member team. We are called Tri Healers. I have studied Ayurveda around 17 years back. I started this journey. I did a 7-year course of practitioner's course from Middlesex University, UK. Absolutely loved every minute. It was a chance meeting Sri Lankan amazing Ayurvedic doctor, Dr. Atik, who brought me on this path. At the same time, my sister was doing yoga from India. And my mom has always been, I mean, from the time I remember opening my eyes, my parents have been doing yoga and Ayurveda in a subtle way. So just 5 or 6 years back, we decided, okay, we are all working independently in different countries. Why don't we put our resources back? And you know what, really, I know COVID has been really hard for a lot of people, but it kind of brought the three of us in three different countries together. And we started taking clients, doing workshops together on Zoom. And you know, it's just amazing because one person is a source of a lot of information. But if you bring another person into the group, they come with a completely different way of looking at the same subject. So just
Perfect.
having my mom and my sister and myself doing Ayurveda, yoga, healing has been absolutely amazing. So I'm personally love doing yoga too. I've been doing yoga for 21, 22 years now.
Wow.
Actually, even more. I'm going to be 50, so around 35 years I've been doing yoga. So all through college, all through university, I was doing yoga. So Ayurveda was a chance meeting, and I absolutely love making Ayurveda easy for people on a day-to-day basis, because Ayurveda can, sometimes become this, oh my God, Ayurveda elements, can't understand. But it's so simple and so scientific. And the whole motto of Tri Healers is to make yoga and Ayurveda really simple for people to bring it into their daily rituals and habits and understand it beautifully. Mani,
That's
Where are you
beautiful.
from? Yeah.
Beautiful. I mean, the way you articulated it, you seemed it so simple. Absolutely, you're bang on. When people say, Ayurveda has been a taboo, people are not so comfortable doing things. And we live in an age where, like pizza, which delivers in 15 minutes, people want their problems also to disappear in such a short time.
Yes.
Unfortunately, there is no like one tablet or one medicine for entire thing. The kind of, the kind of things which we are accumulating is really doing a lot of damage than good to the body. and
Yes.
and I also have I mean, I've been associated, I would say, the Indian types of medicines, as well as I'm doing my doctorate in yoga and human sciences,
Oh, that's
and
amazing.
I'm an avid practitioner as well. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm a
Fabulous.
practitioner of yoga as well, and I've done several workshops on pranayama, the breathing techniques, and as well as
Amazing.
the basic things which go along with. Incidentally, I just returned back from India yesterday, back to Dubai, and I was in a 21-day Ayurvedic retreat. So it's
Wow.
very close. It's ironical that I'm having this chat with you today. So,
Fabulous. You can quiz
so
me now.
oh, no. Well,
Yeah.
I think today's subject is very interesting, and
Fabulous.
a lot of people are having, especially there is a survey which said about one third of Dubai is deprived of sleep, and there's a lot of problems which is like a offshoot of that problem. So it's like one major problem causing a lot of secondary issues as well. So I think it'll be
Absolutely.
very interesting for us to hear from you. What are your thoughts? And of course, there are a lot of myths also surrounding that, and it'll be interesting to know whether they're true or we just need to bust them.
Okay. So, very interestingly, I don't think it's only Dubai that's suffering from sleep issues. I think it's a worldwide issue right now. I think whether it's a 11-year-old child on sleep medication or a 60, 70-year-old people, I mean, literally, we go from a small young child to much, much older. So, Ayurveda explains very beautifully, which I think yoga does. Literally, they can't be separated. The two philosophies are one. Personally, for me, our teacher always said they are part of the same coin. One is heads, one is tails. If you do yoga, you have to understand Ayurveda. If you do Ayurveda, you have to understand yoga. So Ayurveda says that sleep is just not about sleep. It is how you live your entire day that determines how you sleep in the night. And how you live your entire day is beautifully described in Ayurveda through dinacharya.
Dinacharya.
Dina means day, charya means actions through the day. Now, dinacharya is very amazingly, but very, very closely connected with the circadian rhythm. Everybody is talking about circadian rhythm these days. But in circadian rhythm, we are only talking about wake up time and sleep time. But
Hmm.
our whole day, what time do we get up? What do we do after that? What time do we have breakfast? What time do we have lunch and dinner? And in between, how is our mind and how much exercise we do? All that contributes to how do we sleep through the night and whether it's a restful sleep. And
Mhm.
a lot of my patients come and they say, oh, we got up between 2 and 3 o'clock. But majority of them get up between 2 and 5 o'clock. So there is also a connection, and beautifully explained in Ayurveda, why are people getting up at specific times and what is wrong and what is happening within their body. So it's a very easy concept to understand, but it takes time. As you said, Ayurveda takes time to readjust the body to bring it into balance.
All right,
So
that's interesting. So you said there is a specific reason for why people get up at a specific time, right?
yes, yes.
Uh, I mean, could you throw some example of what it is?
Okay, so for that we'll have to go to very, very basic understanding of, as physicians say, quantum physics, as Ayurvedic people say, vibrations. We are made up of nothing but energy. That is something everyone knows. We are made up of, but we are made up of 5 different energies according to Ayurveda, from the lightest to the densest. So the lightest would be space, then slightly higher vibrations would be air, then even higher is fire, water, and earth. So these 5 elements, all of us are born with. But interestingly, these 5 elements dominate. Okay, so when the sun rises, there's a 1 or 2 particular elements that are dominant in the day. So coming back to night, from 2 o'clock, so 10 o'clock, sorry, 10 in the night. That's why people often say sleep at 10. 10 in the night to 2 in the night, we have a certain energy that's dominant, and that's fire energy. And fire energy sits in our liver. And what does the liver do in the night from 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock? It detoxes the body. But if we have had alcohol or late dinner, the liver is overworked, right?
Overworked. Correct.
And when it's overworked, it makes it uneasy for the body to relax and rest, because it's saying, you're overworking me. You've had such a late dinner. Oh, you gave me too much alcohol this
Evening.
evening. And I am getting a lot of toxins from other places also. The food has pesticides, our cream has preservatives, we step out of the house, there's pollution. So liver is taxed already. And that time the liver is saying, listen, please eat early and please don't drink too much, because I have to literally detox what I picked up from the environment. But if you give me extra, I can't do it. So a lot of people who are eating late and having a little bit of extra beverages, sweets, coffee, all that, they will get up between 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. But majority of the people are often getting up between 2 and 6 o'clock. Then again, the energy changes. The energy changes from dominantly fire. We call it the pitta energy. Pitta energy is generally fire and a water. But let's not get into that detail because it'll confuse people.
Yeah.
The second part of the night is from 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock before the sun rises. It's a very light energy. But if you've had a very stressful day and you have not had time to process all the thinking and all the stress you've gone through, and come back home, you've had dinner, you've sat in front of the Netflix, and you've gone to sleep, have you processed those emotions? No.
No.
What time do they start getting processed? Between 2 o'clock and 6 o'clock. And
Okay.
if there's an overload, we get up. And when we get up, if you think of air element, it moves like this, right? If it's normal, if you go out and it's a gentle air, you enjoy it. But if it's crazy air, you don't enjoy it. And it dominates it controls our thoughts. So if you get up between 2 o'clock and 6 o'clock, oh my God, a small pimple will become cancerous and you will die in a month's time. That's what your mind is going to make you think.
Oh, my
A
dear. Okay.
small pain in the eye will get exaggerated that I will lose my eyesight. So
Okay.
that kind of extreme thinking happens between 2 and 6 o'clock. So you have to think about how you're putting yourself to sleep. What is your night routine? Have you processed all your thoughts? Is it important to take the stress while you're sleeping? No. Can you change anything when you're about to sleep? No. So why carry it? And if you are still carrying it, start thinking of doing pranayama meditation. Pranayama, the breathing exercises, Mani,
Yeah.
and a little bit of meditation. Maybe meditation is not for you. Just chanting. just chanting or listening to music, a soft music which relaxes your body a little bit.
Okay.
So, so the two different
In-
energies, yeah.
Interesting. So, which means it is the distortion of these five elements in the body which causes
Absolutely.
your entire pattern and the cycle to be disturbed, right? So
Absolutely.
one being, so there are specific times in the entire 24-hour cycle when each of these are
Uh,
dominant, and
Absolutely.
we have to let it be dominant that way, isn't it?
Yes.
If
Yes.
we alter
Absolutely.
that because
Yes.
we of our work and because of who we are and what we do, if we tend to alter that, and that's what has a domino effect on the entire behavior of these cycles, I guess, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So,
Fantastic.
very interestingly, Ayurveda always says, which is, of course, now Nobel Prize is being won because of the two American people, scientists won the Nobel Prize for making people connect very close to the circadian rhythm. And Ayurveda has been saying for 3 to 4,000 years that live with the sun, get up close to the sun, and start winding down when the sun sets. But
Correct.
we don't. We think, oh my God, am I going to miss out, not go to this party, not have fun? So we feel like we are missing out on so much. Or we feel like we have worked enough. Now it's time to do Netflix. Or it's time to go from one channel to the other and overstimulate our mind. But the sun has come down. It's asking, it's requesting us, slow down. Slow down and don't overstimulate your mind. Don't switch on 100 different lights in the house and make the brain believe that it's still daytime. Don't
Okay.
sit in front of the screen and say, no, no, it's time to still keep awake. So, those are the things I think we have to really start looking into and looking deeper into it.
Yeah, that reminds me of, I have heard people of binge eating.
Hmm.
Now they're also binge watching while binge eating. So this is
Hmm.
completely
Hmm.
destroying the entire patterns, and that's a major
Yeah.
contributor, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So
I
what do you think? Sorry, so I was going to
go
ask.
ahead, go ahead.
Now that we know that the sleep or the entire pattern is getting disturbed because of the imbalances of these five elements, of course, to a normal person, it might appear, or it will mean that you're not following the sun. So
Yes, yes,
simply, if you put it
yes,
like that.
yes.
Um, there are also, does eating habits, eating at irregular times or eating less, people, they go into all sorts of diets these days. I mean,
Absolutely.
all that have, even we had a recent episode of Shane Warne, the cricketer, a very sad
Yes,
story about.
yes,
So there
yes.
are these also very actively contributing to the disturbance in the sleep cycle.
Oh my God, completely. Money. It's so close to my heart. Actually, Kavita, my mom Maya, and I, we constantly tell people that look at the sun and decide, and the same reflection of what the position the sun is the same position of the digestive fire in our stomach. So when, if you look at the sun, it is at an angle when we wake up. So when it is at an angle, it means the same amount of digestive fire is being released in the morning. So when we have heavy breakfast, it's very hard for our digestive fire to break up the food. I'm not asking you to have very tiny meals, but
Hmm.
don't go overboard. Ask yourself first thing in the morning, are you hungry? How hungry are you? I know a lot of people go to the gym and then their body asks for food. Very good, because your body needs the food. But if your body doesn't need the food, postpone it and have a bigger lunch. When we have lunch between 12 and 2 o'clock, where is the sun? Just above our head. What is the state of our digestive fire? Really strong. But
Hmm.
people have started having lunch on the go, one sandwich, a packet of, I don't know about Dubai, but here meals are a sandwich, a packet of chips, and a drink. This is what makes up a lunch. Our digestive fire is the strongest, and we unfortunately eat the smallest and not the most healthy meal during lunchtime. And then when it's really at an angle again at the time when it's setting, our digestive fire is again low. But
No.
what do we make our most important meal of the day? Dinner. Why was dinner called supper? Supper means soup like. then
Mm.
why have we made dinner our biggest meal? Because we have told our mind, we have conditioned our mind, oh, time to give up, all the stress is over. Now I can really pamper myself with a good heavy meal and a good time in front of the TV. We have completely changed the way our cycle should be, because we are supposed to eat a decent sized breakfast, not too heavy, good lunch, and a light dinner, an early light dinner, so that it gets time to, it takes 2 to 3 hours to digest our food, even if we
Mm.
make a small meal. So how are
Right.
we going to sleep well if our food is sitting in our tummy and it's not moving? So the stomach is saying, listen, the food is not moved, liver is coming on. Where do we go from here? It's going to be heavy. So please, can you wake up so that we can at least digest the food? Otherwise,
Right.
it'll become toxins. So
Right.
that is the other aspect of it. A lot of people ask me, but you know what? The only time I relax is dinner. I don't have time. Unfortunately, when you are hit with a disease or hit with something that is life changing, is when you start questioning. But why are we waiting for that moment to
To
come?
happen. Yeah.
Yeah. Though I must say, body is amazingly resilient. Wherever you
Correct.
start, wherever you are, it gets up and supports you and re-energizes you all over again. They say, right? 45 days to turn all the tissues around in our body.
Perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I think so that sort of busts the theory that breakfast like a king. I think depends on who the king is and what he eats.
Yeah.
Depends, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So according to what I understood from you, the the body is designed for a more heavier meal during lunchtime, and
Yes.
the breakfast and the dinner should be light, right?
Light. Interestingly, Mani, what happens is a lot of people say they start feeling sleepy if they have a heavy lunch. I'm not asking go out and bring in lots and lots of food. Good meal, sit down for 15 minutes, switch your phone off, and have a good lunch. And if you are feeling sleepy after lunch, then ask yourself, is there something wrong with your digestive fire? Is there something wrong with your gut? Is there cause of, because you shouldn't be feeling sleepy. The thing is, you feel sleepy when you still have to do work, but all your resources are going into digesting that food. That means your digestive fire is not strong.
Okay.
And if it's not strong, you are going to feel sleepy because all the resources have gone into breaking down the food, because
Right.
your fire is not there. You know, in Ayurveda, the first question we ask is, how is your digestive fire, or
Correct.
how are you digesting your food? Most of the people don't understand that question. Are you having bloating after food? Are you feeling tired and sleepy after food? Are you feeling uneasy after food? These are all signs that you have to look into. How well is your digestive fire breaking down your food? And if,
Right. But I'm not able to comprehend how this works for people who work at night shifts. For them, unfortunately, this theory,
yes,
even though this
yes.
is this is really applicable to every human being, but we live in a times on society where a lot of people need to work at nights. What would you recommend to them on how to keep that balanced?
It's a very, very hard one. As a society, we want people to work 24 hours a day. You know, when I moved to London from New York, around 24 years back, I was quite upset that London goes to sleep. Printers shut down by 7 o'clock. I was like, New York, everything is open 24 hours. And now you realize, oh my God, it's so hard on a human body to stay awake. So we still recommend people to have early dinners, and we say have small snacks, very small snacks. And as soon as you come back home, we give them a few breathing exercises to relax. We give them a few routine before they go into bed. They have no choice. They have no
Hmm.
choice because they have to earn their money. But we move around, we look at their entire lifestyle, and we try and still make sure they have their early dinners. They get to work, and if they are really hungry, try and give them healthy snacks in the night so that the body has a tiny capacity to digest. We give it easy food, not too much caffeine and
Mm.
tea and coffee, because that really messes up with our system, money.
But
And then as soon as they come back, we have a yoga routine, we have a breathing routine where it relaxes the body so that they leave the stress. We make them do yoga nidra also, and then let them go into a good rest for the day.
for the
And they
day.
should get this 7 to 8 hours of sleep, because night waking up can be very taxing for the body and mind, of course.
Yeah. And also, there are a lot of people who tend to say that, as long as I'm getting my 8 hours sleep, my cycle is good. Is that something which is true? What do you think
You
about
know
it?
what? Ayurveda again turns around and says, listen, the best time to sleep is between 9 and 10 o'clock. Of course, depending on the weather, we change it slightly with the season also, but on an average, close to 10 o'clock, 10 p.m., because after that, the liver's time starts. And when you go beyond that time and you push yourself a little bit, because it's liver and it's fire, if we cross that 10 o'clock, we wake up again. And
Okay.
when we wake up, we feel, oh, of course, I'm a night owl. I can work, because you've got up you've pushed yourself into the fire time. Your body goes into, in a very scientific way, your body goes and releases cortisol.
Hmm.
Cortisol is a stress hormone which then starts being pumped into the body. When cortisol gets pumped, we it gives a signal to the body, reduce the sleep hormone. Come on, reduce
Correct.
it, because I have to keep myself awake. So why are people not able to go to sleep once they stay awake in the night? Is because we have released the stress hormones to keep ourselves awake. And then a cup of coffee or something to eat, what signals are we sending to the body? Oh, it's daytime still.
Yes.
Don't come. Don't sleep, doesn't come. And over years, then we become night owls. And over years, our melatonin, which is a sleep hormone, gets pretty reduced. And then
Hmm.
we say we have a sleep issue.
Yeah, I think that explains why your sympathetic nervous system really kicks off when
Yes,
it's like living in constant danger. The body is
yes.
in a state where you say an elephant is chasing you always.
Yes. And you know what is very interesting, Mani, is I won't go into this detail, but again, yoga and Ayurveda talk about the fact that we are different. Each one of us is an individual. Some individuals are born with a greater amount of stamina, like the people we call kapha or earth people. They have more stamina. They may need slightly less sleep, but they also need regular sleep cycles. So if I say, like, I am air and fire dominant elements. I'm made up of 5 elements, but there are certain elements that are dominant. So I, as a person, need more sleep. And if I don't get enough sleep, I'm going to be so miserable tomorrow. While my son, who has a little bit of earth element, can get away for 2 or 3 days with slightly less sleep, even though I keep giving him sleep lectures, he does not get as cranky.
Right.
But don't push your luck too much, because if you do, then at some stage it catches up. And at some stage, you have to resort to asking for medical advice and medical help.
Which is a bustling business, I guess, these
I
days.
believe so. I believe so. But I think it's funny, because I just feel that the next generation, I have a 15 and a 17-year-old, and I have two nieces who are 21 and 23, 20 and 23. They are all becoming so aware of their any kind of mental disturbance, because anxiety, depression is so commonly talked about these days.
Correct.
And now everybody has started reading more books, going back to understanding what circadian rhythm is. So, what have these old books and texts been talking about? And they're all saying the same thing. Aristotle, Socrates, they all said the same thing. I don't think it's something new and
Hmm.
the present world has generated, or a new understanding. It's been taught to us. We've just forgotten. We have to relearn it. Our cells, each cell of our body is connected with the circadian rhythm. We just have to
That's what.
wake that circadian rhythm up.
Oh, well, wonderfully said. I think that statement, what each cell of our body is connected, is I think it's apt for summarizing this entire evening's discussion. Uh,
Fabulous.
Richa, it's been wonderful talking to you, and I really enjoyed
Absolutely.
every single minute of talking to you. And I hope we are going to see you in many more sessions in the days to come. And thank you so
Fabulous.
much for being with us.
It's always a pleasure to talk with the ENHAPP team. You guys are fabulous. And thank you so much for inviting us. Huh? Thank you. Thank
Awesome,
you.
great. And thank you,
Thank you.
NHAP community. See you. Masalama.
Absolutely.
Bye bye. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.